Hey guys, what's going on? So, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm not where I usually am and I've got this fancy ass lighting on me. I'm actually out at the moment, but I was writing another episode for my, YouTube show and stuff, and it was getting really complicated and really long, and I've got to split it up, and it's a long story, but long story short, I'm going to do another episode for you guys right now. My gift to you, which I was supposed to do every 2 weeks and I'm a week late. Let's leave the past behind us. Come on, man. So I figured I'd just make something short. This is like literally the script took about all of 10 minutes to write, so it's not gonna be, oh no, it's gonna be great, if you really like crappy, short, 10-minute written, awesome scripts and stuff. So anyway, as I mentioned, welcome to another episode of the Loot Mates Video About Whatever He Feels Like show, episode, blah, whatever. I watch a lot of YouTube shows, just like mine. And one thing that everyone seems to have in common if they do video gaming is that they all eventually make a top 10 Mario Party minigames, episode / list, whatever. I really like Mario Party, there's no getting away from that, but when you want to, do a list of minigames, WarioWare Inc. is the place to go, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a top 10 best WarioWare Inc. minigames. Oh, wait, actually no, that's not top 10 best. That's top 10 worst. Top 10 worst minigames in WarioWare Inc. Yeah, not best. That would be too easy.
Now, a while ago, I made a video in which I mentioned WarioWare Twisted. Today we'll be talking about its predecessor, WarioWare Inc. Minigame Madness for the Game Boy Advance. It was a pretty unique game for the time. It was a handheld game that had hours of game time and plenty of variety. It tested your skill, quick wit, and your gaming ability for the most part. Like any games, it has its areas it's lacking in, and for this episode we'll be looking at the top 10 worst minigames. With a name like Scoot or Die, how could you possibly go wrong? Well, the answer is simple. You can't. You literally can't go wrong. It's pretty much the easiest game ever. All you need to do is rotate the scooter in midair after launching it from a ramp and orient it to be flat when it lands. It's a pretty cool idea, but just isn't executed that well. Like all WarioWare minigames, there are 3 difficulty levels to this minigame. On the first level, you can literally just let go of the controls and it will land itself. For the other 2, they need some fine-tuning, but for the most part, they're the same. Easy. I suppose that easy doesn't really make it bad, but it just frustrates me every time. As I said before, it could be awesome, but it's just not. Crazy Cars is one of the first minigames you play, and the objective is pretty simple. Hit A to jump over the car. Easy, right? Well, yeah, until you get to the 3rd rendition of it. Rather than conveniently going in a straight line underneath you, the cars will sometimes stop while you stand there looking like an idiot. Or they'll also jump at the same moment that you do, meaning that you hit them in midair. I'm pretty sure that this is the minigame everyone remembers, but not because it's awesome, because it tricks you. And that's wrong. Ski jump. This is pretty much the minigame that still manages to trick me until this day. Simply press A to jump when you're standing on the ski jump, or do you? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, where you're supposed to hit A because it never seems to work. I hit A just before I crash, I hit A just after I crash, I hit A on the ramp, I crash. Maybe it's just something I'm doing wrong, but it still just annoys me. With every level of difficulty increase, the ramp gets smaller, which only makes it harder and harder. On the first level, it's pretty easy, still annoying but doable. On the 3rd level, you pretty much have to be perfect every time, or you'll miss it. Mugshot. You control Wario. When the mug thrown along the bench at you is in your grasp, you hit A to grab it. Pretty easy, right? This is on the list for pretty much the same reasons as Crazy Cars. It seems to be okay until the later levels when suddenly the mugs don't just come from one side. They also come from the other, and the worst is when the mug comes from the left, you hit A to grab it, and another one comes from the right and they hit each other. The annoyance of this situation really puts this minigame above Crazy Cars, although not by a whole lot. Cavity Calamity. That sounds more like a bad visit to the doctors to me, but whatever. In this minigame, you control a little whatever that is. The ceiling is falling and you need to find a block space for the little guy to hide in.
Yeah, because that's what I would do. Just stay in the ceiling. No help. No help. No one's coming. I would just stay, and nothing wrong there.
What I find annoying about this minigame is it's just so difficult to quickly find where the gap is. It's not until right at the end you can definitively tell where you're supposed to stand, but by that time it's too late. Either be good at telling where the space is initially, or have really, really quick reflexes at the end. I used to play WarioWare on a hacked PSP, and let me tell you, that little nub joystick is horrendous. And nothing showed me that better than dodgeballs. This is the classic game of avoid the randomized objects ricocheting around the screen, except in this instance you're a remote-controlled car. The problem with this minigame is that you can only move up, down, left, or right. not diagonally, so it really messes with your ability to navigate. Anyone who's played one of these kind of things before knows how frustrating they are, especially when you get stuck in a corner and you can't get out. Rock, paper, scissors. This is as simple as it gets. Mario's hand cycles through rock, paper, or scissors, and you have to press A at the right time to counter him and win. I've always thought that having games of mostly chance in a skill-based video game is just ridiculous. Sure, you can time it perfectly or be amazing at seeing what Mario's going to do next, but for me it just comes down to mashing buttons at the end until I win. And that's not what this game should be about, except for this minigame, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Forget the ruler one, this game is the real deal. Butterfingers is the minigame that truly challenges your reflexes. In this minigame, you grab a piece of toast. Seems simple, right? It is. It's fired upwards and you can either grab it on its way up or its way down. However, on the later levels, there's a huge chunk missing and you have a tiny area to grab onto. Now make no mistake, difficulty is no way a bad thing. The entire last stage of the game is hard as nails and it's great fun, but this minigame just feels a little cheap. The area you're expected to grab becomes so small that even if you have the reflexes of Hercules, you'd find it difficult. This is the minigame that usually ends me during the very hard one-life sequences towards the end of the game. Picture perfect. Another simple premise. You control a camera as an object flies in front of the viewfinder. You press A at the moment the entire object is in the frame to take a photo of it. Now that seems simple, but this minigame is the unholy god of all unforgiving minigames. If so much as a single pixel is out of frame, you lose. You probably think I'm kidding, and it's probably just one pixel will be fine. Nope, nope, no. No leniency whatsoever.
Oh, whoa, look at that. I get to take a photo of this. Oh, one feather is out of this photo is useless.
If it wasn't for this unfairness, I think it would actually be a pretty damn good minigame. It's got an easy premise after all, and it's quite good fun when you really get into it. Okay, so this technically isn't a minigame like all the others, it's a boss minigame, but it still counts. Alien Laser Hero is one of the bosses, and my god is it difficult. It's not difficult in the sense that it's got some hard obstacles, it's just extremely finicky. Imagine trying to use a bow and arrow to hit a target on top of a hot air balloon going through a storm with a shield in front of it. That's pretty much what it's like. You control a face hovering over Earth. The enemy is a plant pot, and you have to shoot lasers at the plant pot while it shoots seeds at Earth. Seems simple enough, but even if one seed hits Earth, you lose. So you have to shoot them all before even attempting to shoot the pot. The problem is that your field of movement is so limited and so jerky, and some of the seeds are either ridiculously tiny, or they move in erratic patterns, making them extremely hard to hit precisely. I don't know why the hero of Earth couldn't have a slightly bigger laser beam, but he can't, so everyone loses. The end. Not only that, but this minigame is just plain weird. How many times can you say, I'm gonna shoot a pot with laser beams from my detached metallic head while it drops seeds into the atmosphere? Probably like twice in your whole life, if you're lucky. Thanks for watching this extremely rushed video. I hope you liked it. The next video will be great, I promise you that. I've had a lot of time on it and stuff. If you want to watch more, please subscribe and like, it helps a lot, and feel free to drop by my Facebook page and say hello. I'll say hello back maybe. See you guys next time.